So you can see the initial topic here. The female body is a site of patriarchal or the contextualizing Tarfia Faizullah C. And the book was written back in 2014, and it's a book of poems in which the experiences of our war heroines, the Pirangonas, the rape survivors of the Bangladeshi war were documented. And in this powerful text, we find uh, many aspects. One of them is the female body as a site of operation, and wanton rape as a strategy of masculine domination, and misogyny, which is quite structural, and of course, victim shaming, which we are acquainted with. We can see even today in our country, in our society. So, on these rubrics, I would like to conduct my presentation. Now, I would like to draw your attention to some of the binaries that are functional in our society, in all social discourses. And we know that there are many binary oppositions in which the concepts on the left side of the slashes are considered to be positive, and on the right side, the concepts are negative. For example, day opposed to night, good opposed to bad, man opposed to women, self opposed to other. So naturally you understand all the positive words, all the positive concepts, they are on the left side and they are interlinked, and all the negative ones are on the right side and they have some deep connections. So we understand all these things are actually politically, socially and culturally constructed. And we know that patriarchy, which depends on these binaries to sustain itself, has some obsession about chastity. So you know, sati, the pure women, the chaste women, the right kind of women. So patriarchy is quite obsessed with the purity, sexual purity of women. So I would like to draw your attention to this particular picture. You can understand the character. The character was taken from the classical text of the Ramayana, in which Sita was going through fire ordeal. Now, why she was going through fire ordeal? Because there was an allegation that she was sexually involved with Ravana. That's why she had to endure this kind of physical and mental trauma. Why so? Because she has to prove that she is a right woman, she is pure and sexually pure woman. Now my question is, Rama, her husband was wandering across the forest for 14 years, but no one is questioning whether he has gone to the wrong place. But Sita has to go through this particular situation because her body has to prove that it is quite pure. So we understand patriarchy is somewhat obsessed with the female body. And that's why the female body is a political space. And you know that Sita's incident happened in the context of a battle between the army of Rama and the army of Ravana. That brings us to our own experience of the 1971 war. And we know that in a wartime situation or in an armed conflict, one particular community is targeted always, almost always, without an exception. And that community is definitely, we know that it's women. So why women are targeted for sexual violence? Because sex or sexual attack or sexual aggression is used as tactical political strategy. So back in 1971, the Pakistan military targeted Bengali women not just to punish the body of women, also to punish the body politic, the entire Bengali community. So there's a deep psychological aspect to it, and I will discuss it later on. Now, the Pakistan army wants to express itself to be masculinized. So, what is masculinization? Simple. They are powerful, they are strong, they are manly. On the other hand, they wanted to render the entire Bengali community to be feminized, that is softened, weakened. So that was the target. So it's not just the body of women, it's also the whole body politic that they targeted. And we are familiar with the concept of misogyny. So what's misogyny? Misogyny is about deep hatred towards the other, towards women, right? And racism is also hatred of the other. So see, misogyny and racism, they are intertwined because they are guided by the same principle of oppression. In the case of misogyny, it's the women who are targeted, and in the case of racism, it's an entire nation, entire community, they are targeted. So you find in the space of the book that I am discussing, both misogyny and racism are playing out, but they are playing out particularly on the body of the women. I will explore that later on. Uh, Now we can see some textual references. So see, as in the poem, one of the Biranganas, one of the war heroines rather, she was saying that a Pakistani commander is calling her dog, dog, and dog. And also, he said that the Bengali women are smelly and they are savage. Now we understand all these are actually racist tropes, racist diatribes. Like Bengali women are equated with the inferior animals, dog, and also they belong to savage community. So we find that rapist Pakistani soldier is not just violating the female and destroying their bodies, they are also expressing their deep hatred to the Bengali nation. How it is performed? Through the devastation of the female body. So both misogyny and racism, they are working out in the space of the female body. It is not just sexual oppression, sexual domination. There are other aspects to it. Now, I would like to draw your attention to the picture. Is it a gun? It's a weapon, right? So, how is it made of? You can see some food items, the fish, the banana, and some other food items. Now, how it is relevant to my discussion of the war context? Okay, fine. So, from the picture, we understand food can be used as a weapon of war. So, how food can be used? It can be used to punish the body. So, in the context of the 1971 war, we find that our female victims, our Viranganas, were tortured in the camps. They were either starved, denied access to food, or they are scantily fed. Why so? Because they are considered to be substandard, and also to force them into submission, to coerce them into submission. Submission to whom? Submission to the Pakistanis. Right? So, as you can see the poem, for a mango, for some tea, for some food, Bengali women are fighting among themselves to attract the attention of the Pakistani military commander. So see, in order to get some food, they were fighting among themselves. So what is the point here? The Pakistani man, again he is a man, he wants to get satisfaction as a man. He wants his male ego to be boosted, and also he wants to exert and assert his racial superiority. So see, the female body is tortured so that the females, the women of Bengali ethnicity, they submit themselves willingly to the Pakistanis. And here we find it's a great picture of Benangona, and you see it has somber looks and face. And we know that victim shaming is part of the rape culture, and also all anti-women culture. It's embedded, it's structural. So I am now drawing your attention to the post-war situation. So in aftermath of the Bangladesh war, Pakistanis have already left. They have already brutalized, savaged the bodies of Bengali women. But now in liberated Bangladesh, do you think the Biranganas were accepted with garlands? Did anybody roll out the red carpet to welcome them? Yes, officially they are considered to be Biranganas, the war heroines. But in our society, they were not given a chance to get assimilated, to get back into their normal lives. Why so? Why so? because patriarchy again is playing out. How? Now I am going to blame, and I don't know whether it will create some controversy or not. Due to Bengali society's patriarchal, superstitions or mindset or attitude. Now it's our own Bengali society, which is patriarchal deeply, is turning its back onto our own war heroines, whom we officially call war heroines. So victim shaming is continuing, and I will give you some textual evidence. You see, in the first stanza, it's part of a poem. So a Virangana, after the war, went up to her grandfather, who was quite kind and affectionate and loving grandfather to the granddaughter before the war. But after the war, when she went back to him, he said, Beado, which was indecent, impolite. How could you allow him to touch you? As if the war heroine willingly submitted herself to the Pakistani commander. So see, the victim is not blamed as an accomplice in her own tragedy. Why so? Can you imagine why we shame and blame our victims? There is a political and psychological reason behind it. Now, we understand the Pakistani attacked Bengali women, not just attack the women, but to feminize the whole Bengali society. Let me repeat, feminize, to show that Bengalis are weak as a race. They could not protect their women. Because in patriarchal discourse, men are considered to be strong, they are the messiahs, they are the saviors, but they could save their women. And these Bengali men, they failed to perform their duty to save the women. That's why, to get some psychological edge, they're blaming the victims so that the responsibility can be shifted. So it's, see, because Bengali men and Bengali patriarchal society, it cannot accept its failure given by a patriarchal standard that you have to protect your women. Now it's turning their backs onto the victims. Now you know that rape is a kind of stigma. So onto the bodies of all those women, there's a stigma. So due to stigma, the women had to endure psychological trauma because they were rejected, they were driven away, they were considered to be of lesser value. But again, we cannot ignore the physical pains and sufferings they had to endure because they were carrying the bodies, carrying the babies of the wrong kind of people, the Pakistanis. So they had to go through the motherhood process, which itself is painful. But again, they know that they cannot claim the ownership of their children, so they have to embody their pain. So we can consider the war babies as painful existence of their mothers. And, uh, and again, many of the Birangonas, how to survive in post-war Bangladesh, they had to join prostitution. Again, bodies coming out. So throughout the war, they had to, give their bodies unwillingly. After the war, their bodies are shamed and blamed, and they had to undergo all the pains due to the childbirth process and all. Again, in post-war Bangladesh, they had to join prostitution, many of them, to survive. So their body is somewhat politically constructed. And we know a poem by Videotaped, I am nobody. Are you nobody too? So before the war, these women were a somebody to their family members, to their society. But after the war, they became a big nobody because their body was destroyed politically and sexually. So throughout the presentation, I wanted to show through some textual analysis of the book say that the female body in a patriarchal society can be weaponized, racialized, brutalized, marginalized, and destroyed. And it tells the story of those women whose bodies won't ever be their own. So that That's all for today. And I would like to appreciate your questions because still today we will have to face all those troubles. Even Viranganas are struggling to survive in our society because their body was politically, culturally, socially devastated because of patriarchy's obsession with the chastity complex. Thank you so much.